The following is a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio. Our coverage of Dowling Catholic Sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Fast Signs in Clive, Blessman International, Skeffington's Formal Wear, and Bozen the Florist. Thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
And welcome back to the Johnston Gym as we get set for game number 2 of our girls and boys basketball doubleheader here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. Mark Amadil now joined by Jimmy Cataldo as we get set for game number 2. Coach Cataldo, welcome. I don't know if we can do any better than we just saw, but we saw a pretty good girls game. Dowling, both teams had to lead back and forth. Both teams had no more than a 6-point lead until free throws at the end decided it. But hey, we got this boys game to get through here. Dowling and Johnston, welcome.
It's rare that you come out on a Tuesday night in December and see 2 top 5 rated basketball games in the girls and boys, and certainly if the girls game is any indication, kind of gives you a head start as kind of what you're expecting in this boys game, which I do believe you're going to see a lot of Courtney Henderson coming out of this Johnston team, which means slow the ball down a little bit and play a ton of defense. Which, talking to Coach Einerson a little bit, I don't think they played a really good Valley team. They played didn't have long to turn over to play Roosevelt last Saturday, but you're going to play a Johnston team that's going to probably guard you the moment you get the ball inbounded or rebounded. They're going to find you. So certainly got to play, and you really like this Dowling boys team, at least what we've seen little of. Yeah, I was telling somebody, what do you think of this boys team? I said, what's so interesting about this team is you have no idea who's going to score on any possession because all 5 guys play cohesively, they play together, they play unselfishly, and the guy who finds the open spot, the guy with the ball usually finds him, and usually that's a high percentage shot. So this should be a great evening game for a Tuesday night in December.
Other games going on in the Central Iowa Metro League has Ankeny at Southeast Polk. These games are girl-boy doubleheaders. Valley at Urbandale and Waukee Northwest at Waukee in the Battle of Waukee tonight. The Centennial boys played last night and got their first win as they went over to Iowa City and defeated Iowa City Liberty 64-59. Congratulations to Bob Fontaine and win number 1 on the year. The Ankeny Centennial girls have the night off. There's always one team in the CIML that has a bye on a given Tuesday or Friday conference night. But Jimmy, it's Dowling and Johnston, and as you look at the head-to-head, Johnston's won 2 of the last 3 games and 6 out of the last 8. They won both meetings last year, and they were good ones, 44-40 here at Johnston, and then they defeated Dowling at the Dowling Gym 47-40 later on in the year. But that was Courtney's and Justin Einertson's first year handling both programs.
One thing that's jumps out on the stat sheet in such a young season is that the Maroons are averaging over 64 points a game. And you look at the last 2 times the Maroons have played Johnston, they kept them at 40 in the first game and I believe 44 in the second game. So this Johnston team is going to slow this Dowling team down as best as they can, and it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of tempo the Maroons, do they pace the game or do they allow Johnston to pace the game? And a little bit of that is, sometimes when you play too fast and these guys are getting back on defense, I'm talking as Johnston, you don't get great shots. So if the Maroons play their game a little bit and work into their offense, the one thing you like, they get a lot of shots inside the paint, which are high percentage shots, and it's something we haven't seen out of the Maroons in a couple of years, and they do a great job finding those high percentage shots, and they're number 3 in Class 4A in field goal percentage, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they're taking good shots, good shot selection. Dowling comes in with a record of 4-0 in this boys game. Johnston's record 4-1. Dragons come in averaging 55.4 points a game. Dowling about 10 points more, 64.8. Maroons give up 57 points on defense. Johnston just 48 points on defense. So it could be a rock fight type game in the middle of it, but we could see a lot of transition. One thing we know, Jimmy, we're going to see some athleticism with these 2 teams.
And a couple guys that stand out for Johnston that you're going to hear a lot about tonight. This Tino Day is averaging over 18, almost 19 points a game in Class 4A, and so he's getting out running really well. And so, I would call him the Dowling killer has been Jalen Richardson. We've seen Jalen Richardson over the last year or two, and he has just played so well against the Maroons. And I don't know if it's the pace of play. Talking to some of their fans, how Jalen's been doing this year. I think the one thing that hurts him a lot is that they don't get out and run as much as probably an athletic Jalen Richardson is. And so it's be interesting to see, as you mentioned, Johnston's very, very athletic, as are the Maroons. Do they get out and run, or do they slow it down? And sometimes when you're an athletic team, you want to get out and run. But if you get slowed down, that's when you start getting off your game a little bit.
No question about it. Tino Day, Prestige Taylor, and Jalen Richardson, that's the bulk of their scoring right there. 2 guards, and Richardson's a combo guy, as you mentioned earlier. Seth Gipple and Carter Looney round out the starting lineup for Johnston. Gipple, a 6'6 senior, leads the team with 9 made threes. And Looney, 6'11 postman. Well, that'll be a handful once again for Charlie Crane. He battled Urac last Friday night. Now he's got another one in Looney at 6'11 for Johnston.
Well, and the height in general for Johnston, I think their front line is 6'6", 6'7", and you mentioned 6'11". So the Maroons are probably have a disadvantage on the height, but they're certainly going to play well. And we saw, Charlie Crane. He plays much taller than what he is, and we've said this before. His arm length is so long that he causes big men like Uric the other night a lot of problems. I see that being an issue again tonight.
Let's take a look at our starting lineups, because we are going to have the national anthem going to be played here, and I'm not sure when. I'll have to kind of take a cue off Jeff Lawrence, our PA announce like it's going to be coming up. So with that, we're going to send it back to our studios at Iowa Catholic Radio for our final break before tip-off and starting lineups. Again, the final in Game 1, the Johnston girls defeat Dowling 49-41. Dragons go to 6-0 on the year. Dowling girls fall to 5-2. And we're just about set for game number 2, Dowling and Johnston boys game. And we'll have that after this 1-minute break when we return to the Johnston gym. Mark Hamadale, Jimmy Cataldo. And we'll start here after this break here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting people to Christ with local faith leaders.
I am Father Michael, priest at St. John's. Come, let us go up to the Lord's mountain, to the house of the God of Jacob. With these words from the prophet Isaiah, I invite you to come and experience God's love at St. John's Parish in Adel. Mass times can be found at www.stjohnsadel.org.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting people to Christ and His Church on their faith journey.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Caldwell Parish Funeral Home and Crematory. Caldwell Parish offers services that are unique to the individual while following the Catholic funeral rites. Caldwell Parish Funeral Home and Crematory, Des Moines' only Catholic-owned and operated funeral home.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Westgate Dental, offering cosmetic, family, implant, and general dentistry. Located at 1073rd Street, Suite 1 in West Des Moines, just behind Dowling Catholic High School. Learn more at westgatedentalia.com.
Hi, this is Josh Burks with the Emmaus Institute Bible Book in a Minute. If you were given a pair of goggles through which to see the spiritual world, what would you see? The Book of Wisdom gives us that answer. After describing the riches and beauty of wisdom, the book then goes back in time, all the way to the beginning with Adam, and follows the biblical storyline, but this time from a spiritual point of view. What we see is the activity of God's wisdom, painted in the portrait of a divine person, active in the creation of the world, the saving events of the Exodus, and the instruction of God's people. Where wisdom once worked quietly and behind the scenes in the Old Testament, we now see him continue to work in our own lives and in the world, and we call his name Jesus. This has been your Bible Book in a Minute. For a closer look at Christ in the Scriptures, join us at EmmausInstitute.net.
A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
And welcome back to the Johnston High School gym here in Johnston, Iowa, northwest suburb of Des Moines. Mark Hamadale, Jimmy Cataldo. A lot of people listen online at iowacatholicradio.com or listening through their iPhones. Starting lineups are being introduced now. We'll catch up with them, and they're introducing the Dowling boys wearing their, once again, road uniforms. Road team out of what? This will be game number 5 for Dowling. 4 of the 5 games have been road games.
Remember just a couple of years ago, I think our first 14 out of 16 games started on the road, and I think that was Coach Ironson's first year. I think maybe last year. And he says, "Who set this schedule? I mean, we haven't played home yet."
Walk down the hall of the athletic office, and they get it all hammered out. All right, let's take a look at the Dowling starting lineups. The Maroons come in with a record of 4-0. Head coach is Justin Einertson, second year, 16 wins, 12 losses at Dowling, assisted by Jimmy Nahas, Zach Nicholson, and Kevin O'Hare, and they'll start this lineup at one guard. Will be the point guard, Noah Martins, a 5'11 junior, averaging 15.5 points and 4.5 assists. That leads the team in both, 10 steals, and leads the team with 8 made threes. He wore number 11. The other guard is Nathan Jenkins, 6'1 junior, averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds. Jenkins wore number 2. And the third guard is Lucas Paoli, a 6'2 senior, averaging 10.5 points, 4.5 rebounds. Paoli will wear number 3. And the fourth guard will be Maddox Capola, 6'1 junior, averaging 6 points for the Maroons, and he'll wear number 13. And at center for Dowling, Charlie Crane, a 6'9.5 junior, averaging 13 points, leads the team with 16 blocks and averaging 6 rebounds a contest. And Crane will wear number 10. So it'll be Nathan Jenkins, Lucas Paoli, Noah Martins, Maddox Capola, the 4 guards, along with Charlie Crane at center. Off the bench for Dowling, we look to see Gio Keelis, 6'3 junior, along with Quincy Moore, a 6'5 senior. They'll be the first two off the bench. We may see Leo Pagano in there also. As now for the Johnston Dragons, and a change for the Dragons. Tino Day will not get the start. It will be V. Taylor. So the Taylor brothers will be out there, Jimmy. Well, maybe not. 1 and 2.
It looks like Seth Gipple is not going to start tonight.
Gipple's not. That's right. They are going with a different lineup. So Gipple does not get the start. Seth Gipple, number 15, is not out there. Thank you for that. So they will start Tino Day, Prestige Taylor, and Avanti Taylor. The Taylors are brothers. Prestige is senior. Avanti, a sophomore. Jalen Richardson, a 6'5 senior, will start at forward. In the center, Carter Looney in the underway. As Johnston wins the tip, they go right to left towards the south basket, and they run that 3-man weave to perfection, and they have the ball first.
So athletic. You've seen it early that the young Johnston team is moving pretty quick without the ball and forcing Dowling to guard them throughout the entire half court.
We got a whistle and a foul underneath on the Maroons, says Lou Yasinich, one of our 3 officials tonight. Lou Yasinich, Chris Lynch, and William Dotson.
First foul on Charlie Crane. Charlie Crane found a little bit of foul trouble against Valley, forcing a couple kids off the bench early in Quincy Moore, and then Alfredo Coley came in with significant minutes. So Charlie picking up his first foul within the first minute of the game.
And a long 3 up and good for the Dragons as they get ready right away. And Avanti Taylor with the 3. Young man who was supposed to come off the bench, well, he gets the start tonight and drains the 3. And we're underway. 3-0 Johnston. Dowling with the ball the other way. As the Maroons now dribble drive in the lane. It's cut off is Noah Martins. Kicks it back out to Maddox Capola. Now back to Martins. Noah with it. Watch these matchups, Jimmy. It'll be interesting. Both teams will play man-to-man. Prestige Taylor on Martins. Now dribbling down the lane. Paoli with it. He's cut off. Gets it to Crane. Pull-up jumper short. And the shot clock goes up, and they play on. Or do they? Yep, shot clock violation. It'll be Johnston basketball.
And the film starts getting shared. Everything's on Huddle now, so teams can see every single second of every single game of your opponents, and you start learning a little bit about this Dowling team and what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses, and certainly taking the ball to the basket is a strength that Coach Henderson's going to figure a way how to defend and make sure that they make it tough to get the Maroons going to the basket.
Now Prestige Taylor gets it over in the corner to his brother Avi, and his three-pointer is no good. Rebound comes out to Dowling. 3-0 Johnston here in the boys contest. Johnston girls a winner in game 1, 49-41. Dowling boys now with the basketball here in the first quarter of game 2. And now dribble driving to the baseline is Paoli, and he draws a foul. That'll be on Tino Day of Johnston.
Game that you'd like to see Maddox Capola kind of come out of his early season slump. And he's trying everything he can. He works really hard at his basketball game, and nice evening to see if he can break out of his small slump.
Yeah, good point. There's a long three. It's no good by Noah Martins for Dowling. Rebound Johnston. And 3-0 Dragons. 6 minutes to play. Dragons now reverse the ball, and a long three by Carter Looney, top of the key, good from the 6'11" post player. That is his first three of the year.
And Charlie gave him every single foot in between him and the basket to shoot that, and see why he doesn't take too many. Banks it in from top of the key.
6-0 Johnston. Dowling in the front court. With it is Noah Jenkins. Now swings the ball out to Martins. Noah with it in the corner. It goes to Paoli. They back in Crane. Crane on the right block. Turns with the left hand. Shot no good. And a foul on Looney. So Carter Looney, the 6'11" senior, picks up the first foul for Johnston.
Charlie working really hard to get great position on that lower block. And as he's trying to get that ball fed into him, inching closer and closer to that basket so that when he does get that ball to block, he can go straight up.
And Crane's first free throw good. Charlie comes in averaging 13.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 16 blocks on the year. Those lead Dowling in all three of those categories. And the second free throw, no good. So he is now 5 of 9 at the free throw line for the season. Rebound Johnston, 6-1 Dragons. They lead by 5, and they have the basketball. Nathan Jenkins, or rather Prestige Taylor in the front court, guarded by Nathan Jenkins, the former Dragon. Now is on the Dowling team. Dribble handoff goes to Taylor. Prestige with it in the lane, and reach-in foul on Dowling. That'll be on Martins. So Noah with his first foul, second team foul on the Maroons.
And Martin's playing great defense, and really he was fronting him the whole way through. Didn't really have to reach in at that point, but gets caught with the reach-in. It was a good call by the official. Second team foul on the Maroons.
Dragons will inbound the ball. Get the top of the key to Prestige Taylor. He and his brother Avi in the contest. Now pull-up jumper, and might have been flipped out of the hands of the shooter, Tino Day, and into the hands of Dowling. Maroons in transition. They leave with the Crane layup, and slam dunk is good. What a feed that time by Nathan Jenkins to Crane.
Crane blocks the shot, and then he gets rewarded for running the court on the fast break, and he breaks free ahead of the ball and puts it in hard.
6-3 Johnston. 4.5 to go. First quarter from the Johnston gym. Jalen Richardson backs in, leaves it for Looney. His shot no good, and a foul on Dowling. And that'll be on Paoli, his first.
Richardson, looking back at the games he's played against the Maroons, I mentioned last year, averaging over 10 points a game against the Maroons in 2 games last year. He was just such a problem. We couldn't stop him last year, and he's continued to develop into a nice basketball player.
Johnston leads this series over Dowling dating back to 2007. That's when Quick Stats and Bounds started keeping track of all this stuff. And second free throw is no good by Looney. Rebound Dowling. Johnston leads the series 22-17 over the Maroons. Johnston's won 2 of the last 3 and 6 of the last 8 against the Dowling boys. All right, Maroons in the front court. In the lane, Paoli's shot is no good, and a rebound cleared out of there by the Dragons. And they get it in the front court. With it is Richardson. Now they back it into Looney on the right block. Right over Charlie Crane, layup good. Carter Looney with his 6th point. He comes in averaging 2 points. And he hasn't shot that many shots this year because they've been so guard dominant, has Johnston. But tonight they're taking the open man. 9-3 Dragons. Dowling with the ball and a whistle and a foul on Johnston. That'll be on Avi Taylor, the 6'1 sophomore. Playing with his 6-foot older brother, who's a senior. And that'll be a 3rd foul on Johnston, 3 on Dowling here in the first quarter with 3.5 to go.
Maroons continue to work the ball in as they continue to work their dribble drives, and has not taken an outside shot yet, which is been a positive thing in past years, especially with this team as they work the ball into high percentage situations. Just can't want to go down right now.
Johnston gets Looney out of there, and they bring in Natish Sakaranthi. Remember him from Waukee Northwest last year. He was the shot blocker, leads the team with 7 blocks this year. Now whistling a foul on Johnston as Dowling attacks. And I think they whistled on, Nakari Cavill, 5'11 sophomore, just checked in and picked up the foul for Johnston. Free throws coming here for Lucas Paoli. But Natish was something else when his game with Waukee Northwest. Jimmy, I don't know if it was at Dowling Gym or Northwest Gym, but he had a 6'7 senior. Again, he transferred from Northwest, averaging 2.5 points, but he's the first sub off the bench, and he's going against Crane.
Seems like we've seen Natish. I think he's been playing against us since he was a freshman.
I think you're right. Second free throw, no good. Paoli 0 for 2 at the line, an 87% free throw shooter. Missed both. 9-3 Johnston. Dragons by 6. And now the Dragons attack the glass, and Tino Day shoots and scores. And the Maroons may need a timeout, and they're going to take it with 3:11 left to go here in the first quarter. Johnston by 8. 11-3 over Dowling Catholic. We'll take a 1-minute break and return to the Johnston Gym. Johnston 11, Dowling Catholic 3 here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610, ashworthvision.com.
Support for programming funded by Blessman International. We bring the good news of the gospel to South African children and their families through faith formation and locally sustainable programs. As the Fellowship of Christian Athletes location for all South Africa, our Sports for Christ complex provides student access to friendly competition where discipline and dedication are developed. Learn how you can support programs like Sports for Christ or experience the hands-on engagement of a mission trip at blessmaninternational.org.
Support for programming is provided by Construction Professionals, serving customers through a proven process, creating unique design, functionality, and artistic beauty. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. cpcustomhomes.com.
All right, welcome back to the Johnston Gym out of the Dowling timeout. 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Johnston 11, Dowling 3. Mark Amadale, Jimmy Cataldo here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. And now the Maroons turn the ball over again, but Johnston saved it from going out of bounds.
See how the Maroons handled the contact as they dribble, drive through the lane and things. Johnston's giving a lot of body throughout the lane and throughout the dribble drive, which the officials are not calling on both sides, which, that's consistent. So, how do the Maroons handle that? Strength is going to be important tonight, and shot making is going to be really important tonight.
No question about it. As Dowling now with the ball. Team fouls, Dowling with 3 team fouls. Johnston with 4. Now Crane in the lane. Turnaround shot over Natish, up and good. Charlie Crane with his second field goal. He leads Dowling in scoring with 5. He has all 5 of Dowling's points. 11-5 rather. Johnston. Nice move by Charlie.
Great strong move into the lane. He went to his left, came hard up, straight up into his right, was really above the rim, shooting that ball. And
I like how he attacked the shot blocker in Natish.
You got to do that with the Natish. You got to play above the rim because he's going to put it back.
All right, Dragons in the front court with it is Jalen Richardson down the right side. His shot no good. Crane with the rebound for Dowling. 11-5. Johnston by 6. 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. You joined us late. Game 1. Johnston girls defeated Dowling 49-41. Now a turnover by the Maroons. And it's taken away by the Dragons. And Nakari Cavill in the lane. In the lane, shot blocked by Crane. Cavill shot, and it goes out of bounds off of Dowling. Coppola tried to take the charge, and that didn't quite work out.
And he drew the body to it and the contact, and just wasn't given the call. Crane with another block. I think that's number 3 tonight.
All right, shot clock at 26. Johnston inbounds underneath their own basket. They go right to left in front of us, wearing their home white uniforms with gold and purple trim, gold numbers and purple border. Dowling in their road maroon uniforms with white numbers and black border. Dragons go right to left towards the south basket here at the Johnston Gym as we are right behind the scorer's table up here on the track in front of the Dowling fans. And now a backdoor cut and a layup by Natish is no good. Aranthi couldn't hit it, and a rebound out to Dowling.
Right at the rim. Maroons get a little bit lucky there as uncontested right at the rim, and Natish a little long.
Now a long 3, good by Noah Martins.
Noah Martin's been shooting lights out the last couple games. He's come on to the scene. We hadn't know much about him, but shooting the ball well over the last game or two against Roosevelt and of course, against Valley.
Martin's with his team-leading 9th three-pointer on the season, and it's 11-8. Johnston's lead is now 3 in the final 50 seconds of the first quarter. Now Day in the lane with the left hand shot up and good. Nice move by Day. He went right around Dowling's Nathan Jenkins, and we've got what happened in the backcourt there. They're going to do a redo.
I don't think the shot clock may have reset.
Oh, that's what Will Dotson said. Yeah, it did not. Now it is. All right, final 40 seconds of the first quarter. 13-8 is our score. Day has 4 points for Johnston. The Maroons underneath, and a shot no good by Noah Martins, and he'll go to the free throw line. Foul on Johnston. That'll be on Richardson, and Jalen will pick up his first for the Dragons. 15 foul on Johnston, so the final 27 seconds. Dowling will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Martins at the free throw line. And the free throw good. Noah just 2 for 2 at the line for the season. You think he'd be there a lot more the way he plays, Jimmy, but that's just his third attempt.
Well, his outside shot's been so dangerous, so he's probably not getting himself into too many foul situations. But tonight, Maroons are just 1 for 2 from the three-point arc, taking the ball hard to the basket. This is where you're drawing your fouls.
Second free throw, good by Noah Martins. He has 5 points tonight.
Maroons going to their bench with the shot clock off, putting a more defensive-oriented group in there with Quincy Moore and Leo Pagano, who have entered the game.
Coppola comes back in. And Dragons are going to hold for one shot, maybe, as Tino Day dribbling between the circles without any defensive pressure. Nathan Jenkins in there for the Maroons. Now the Maroons switch out of that. Here's Coppola, Maddox with him, and a three-pointer by the Dragons, no good by Avi Taylor. And we've come to the end of the first quarter here at the Johnston Gym with the score. Johnston 13, Dowling 10, alongside Jimmy Cataldo and Mark Amadeo. We'll be back with a second quarter in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Support for programming comes from Klein Electric, a local family-oriented electrical contractor, a 100% employee-owned company with branches across the Midwest to provide comprehensive electrical services. Klein Electric is able to help with any residential and commercial project. Learn more at kleinelectric.com.
Fast Signs is a custom sign and visual solutions company with an extensive selection of digital signage, interior and exterior signs, banners, and vehicle wraps. Learn more at fastsigns.com. Thank you, Fast Signs in Clive, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Bozen the Florist. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, weddings, whatever the message, say more with Bozen. Bozen.com. 515-244-ROSE. Bozen makes the moment mean more.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formal Wear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formal Wear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym. Glad you could join us for Tuesday night girls and boys basketball on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. Mark Amadeo alongside Jimmy Cataldo for Game 2. Game 1 was won by the Johnston girls, 49-41 over Dowling. Dowling boys trail by 3 here as we start the second quarter. And Maroons with the first possession of the second quarter here, Jimmy Cataldo. You got to look at some numbers that you want to share with us.
First quarter of the game, Johnston 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point arc, 3 rebounds, 1 turnover for the Maroons. 2 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from three-point range, 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers. Maroons are 3 of 6 from the free throw line in the first quarter.
All right, 5 in the shot clock. Martins launches a 3. It's no good. And the rebound out to Johnston. Dragons have it. Here's Tino Day in the front court, pushes the envelope, and now they run their secondary break as Jalen Richardson has it between the circles. Right side it goes to Day. Back in the lineup, Carter Looney for Johnston. Day underneath, layup good. Got it right around the defender on the baseline, Nathan Jenkins for the score.
Pretty easy take for Tino Day. He's been extremely athletic, extremely durable throughout the short period of the season.
He's their leading scorer, averaging just under 18. And now reverse layup, no good by Quincy Moore. Nice pass that time by the Maroons' Nathan Jenkins. Rebound Johnston, 15-10 is our score. Johnston with the lead. As we're underway here in the second quarter. Johnston coached by Courtney Henderson in his second year after coaching at Hoover for 14 years. Dowling coached by Justin Einerson after being at Des Moines Lincoln. For 7 years. And now underneath, shot up and no good. The rebound out to the Maroons. Dowling in transition. Here's Jenkins with it. Nathan on the baseline. Going up against his former teammate, Richardson. Kicks it back out, top of the key to Martins. Maroons will reset their offense. 6 minutes to play here in the second quarter. And now Capola goes down the lane. He has the ball stripped away. Maddox lost it. Down court comes Jenkins, and the layup is no good by Prestige Taylor, and the ball out of bounds to Dowling. So both teams kind of forcing the issue, but Jimmy, turnovers on both ends.
You can, I mean, it's pretty easy to see Courtney Henderson's game plan from up here is when the Maroons are taking the ball hard to the basket, which they do a lot of. They're collapsing 3 guys in the lane, so highly contesting the dribble drive. What the Maroons got to find is somebody to set their feet for the kick out, because it is there throughout as they drop 3 guys down in the lane to contest that dribble drive.
There's Capola with it. Kicks it out to Keyless, and Gio loses out of bounds, and he said it went off of Johnston, but the officials rule otherwise, says our crew.
A little bit of what Gio's got to find is play through that contact. He got a lot of body contact, wasn't called, and that's just the way it's being called right now, which is very consistent throughout. Gio's got to be able to handle that ball and handle that contact.
All right, Dragons with the basketball in the front court. With this is Avi Taylor, and a long 3 up, and good. Richardson hits the 3.
The Dowling killer, as I call it.
Yeah, well, that's his first 3 of the night. 8th on the year. 16-10, Johnston by 8. Check that, 18-10, Johnston leading, and Dowling with the ball. In the front court is Noah Martins. Now gets it out to Keyless. Gio with it on the right side. Backs in against Day. Reverse pass nearly stolen away. Retrieved by Martins and Dowling. 5 on the shot clock. Martins at the free throw line. Kicks it out to Keyless for 3. It's no good. Ball slapped around. And out of bounds to Dowling.
Just frustrating right now, you can tell from the Maroons. They're not getting to the lane like they're used to the last few games that we've seen. And so you got to play a little bit through some of that adversity. Get guys in position for kickouts. Don't get out of your game. They get a little bit of impatient late in the shot clock, and that's what a Coach Henderson team's going to do to you defensively. Force you late into a shot clock and force an errant shot.
All right, Dragons by 8. Dowling with the ball. Now pass inside to Keyless. It's stolen away by Johnston. Taken away by Avi Taylor. And the Dragons immediately down court, but they can't get a shot off. Now they get it to Day. Pull-up jumper in the lane. Good. Oh, he's a smooth player. Tino Day with 8 points here in the first half. Comes in averaging just under 19. You can see why. It is 20-10. Johnston with their largest lead of 10 over Dowling. Keyless in the front court. Leaves it for Martins for 3. It's no good. Fight for the rebound, and Looney comes away with it for the Johnston Dragons into the hands of Richardson. Jalen on the dribble, coming off a ball screen. In the lane, leaves it for Looney, and his shot might have been partially blocked by Crane. Rebound Dowling and Keyless. Good defense by the Maroons. Now Dowling the other way. Paoli wants to spin and draws the foul. That'll be on Nakari Cavill, his second.
It's one of the rare times they're calling the body, with that time Cavill using his forearm as a part of his defense, and that's going to be called most times as you push your offensive player off with your arm. That's the one thing that Johnson has avoided doing in their defensive set. One time they didn't get away with it there.
All right, Caleb Bargiolo in for Johnston, the 6'1 junior.
Courtney goes so deep into his bench. I think he goes 9 deep, sometimes 10.
He said be ready for 10 to 11 tonight. Depends what he's doing. And now Dowling underneath, and a layup good. Smooth move by Nathan Jenkins for the Maroons.
Real strong move, and the elevation that you saw out of Jenkins there as he took the ball, contested with 2 guys around him. Got there really high, a nice easy layup.
Dragons in the front court. They put a little dribble weave. Here's Prestige Taylor all alone. Layup good. They let him go, did Dowling. Got around Martins. Taylor with his first 2 points tonight, 22-12. Johnston by 10. Runs the other way. With it is Paoli. Kicks it back out to Jenkins. Nathan with it. Down the lane he goes, and he looks for Crane on the pass. A foul on Johnston to be out of bounds to Dowling with 2:50 remaining. And Avi Taylor with his second foul. Second team foul on the Dragons here in the second quarter. Maroons will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. Martins to throw it in. Noah gets the Crane back to Martins. Guarded by Prestige Taylor. Haven't seen any zone yet. It's man-to-man both ways. There's Jenkins with it. Nathan on a backdoor cut. Finds Keyless. His shot up and no good, in and out. Crane wrestled away, and what do we got? Jump ball called. Crane took it right out of the hands of Carter Looney.
Possession to Johnston. You say man-to-man. It's a suffocating man-to-man. Johnston's not giving Dowling any room at all from the moment they get across the half-court line. And, that's what we expected, that the defensive effort will amplify against the Maroons tonight. A lot of things that they've seen on film to try to keep the Maroons away from their strengths, which is handling the ball, taking the ball to the basket, which right now they're struggling to get there.
Dragons in the front court. Prestige Taylor playing catch with Tino Day. Now Day with it. Taylor to Day. Prestige in the lane. Layup good. He lofted it right over the outstretched arms of Charlie Crane.
Right now the Maroons are struggling to play Johnston's guards right now. Prestige Taylor, Tino Day, making it pretty easy for themselves getting to the basket.
10
Got to find a way to double team that.
Yeah, 10 points for Day. 2 minutes to play. It's 24-12 Johnston. Their largest lead is right now at 12. And now Dowling had the ball in the corner and they lost it out of bounds.
Turnover number 3 for the Maroons here in the second quarter, 5 for the game. Got to keep that down.
And we got a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it here. Minute 57 to go in the second quarter. Johnston 24, Dowling Catholic 12. Reminder at halftime, we'll visit with members of the Dowling girls basketball coaching staff and maybe a player or two. Johnston defeated Dowling 49-41, a final in game 1. Mark Amadell, Jimmy Cataldo here. And Jimmy, what's Coach Anderson saying to this young group? They haven't been down this far. They're down 12 here right now.
Well, I think it's an opportune time for him with a young team, an experienced team, to fight through this adversity a little bit. Understand what's working, what's not. Don't keep running yourself into a brick wall. Let's figure out different ways to take what Johnston's given them and to their advantage. As I mentioned, they got kick-out passes all day. They just got to find themselves setting their feet. But they're working that dribble weave around the pressure that Johnston's given, so nobody's really having their feet set for any type of kick-out shot or pass that the Maroons have throughout their offensive set.
Tonight's game here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, brought to you in part by Blessman International, Bozen the Florist, Construction Professionals, and Ashworth Vision Clinic. There's no rankings out for boys basketball yet. I think they come out Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But you go by the old BCOR rankings. My son was part of that class at Iowa State.
Then I must be seeing something that you're not seeing, because I saw ratings. I saw ratings come out from the high school association. I believe
today?
On Twitter, yes. And
they came out today.
They had Johnston at around, I think, 3 or 4. Dowling was slotted around 8 or 9. I can't say specifically, but
well, the boys from
right
Iowa State
there.
have Johnston 6, Dowling 7, for what it's worth. And now we got a violation, and we have foul on Johnston. Illegal screen. That'll be on Bargiolo, his first.
Just so I just want you to be so accurate. I'll probably look it up.
No, I'll take your word for it. But when I printed these off this afternoon, they weren't up there. But they said they'd be out this week by Friday. Well, that's great. All right, Dowling with the ball, following the foul on Johnston. Here's Capola with it, who's back in. Maddox on the dribble. It's the top of the key to Noah Martins. Martins guarded by Day. Gives it up in the lane. And now layup good. Nice move by Nathan Jenkins, who's really come alive. 4 points now for him, and it's 24-14. Johnston by 10. Final minute of the first half. In the front court, Akari Cavill getting the lane to Looney. His shot no good. Rebound Dowling. Runes in the front court. Jenkins with it. Nathan leaves it for Noah Martins. Dowling trying to cut into a 10-point lead the final 35 seconds of the first half. Gets it over to Nathan Jenkins. Jenkins down the lane, and a reach-in foul before the shot, says Lou Jasinic. Barjolo picks up his second foul. 14 foul on Johnston. So the Maroons will be shooting 2 in the final 30 seconds. Out of bounds to Dowling.
Shot clock's off, so the Maroons can play through this possession, get the final shot, which if they can cut it down to single digits going into halftime, that's probably a win for them at this point. To try to find some momentum coming out in the second half.
All right, Paoli, dribble handoff to Noah Martins. Over to Maddox Capola. 10 seconds remaining in the half. Capola between the circles. Now attacks this lane. Dribbles in the lane. Stops. Kicks it out to Jenkins for 3. Good. Nice developing play. Nathan Jenkins with the 3 from the right wing, and it's 24-17. Johnston leading Dowling Catholic here at halftime, Jimmy Cataldo.
You know, it was what we'd mentioned is that the dribble drive, you know, is forcing Johnston to collapse, find your feet set on the outside, and be ready for a kick-out pass. And so Maddox Capola takes it hard to the basket, gets the collapsing defense, kicks it out was it Martins or Jenkins? Jenkins with his feet set, knocks down the shot.
Our halftime score here at the Johnston Gym. It is Johnston 24, Dowling Catholic 17. Alongside Jimmy Cataldo, I'm Mark Amadale. And stay tuned at halftime. We'll have members of the Dowling girls basketball coaching staff join us following Dowling girls' loss tonight, 49-41 to Johnston. But we'll take a 1-minute break. Roman Wilkham, 1 minute, and our halftime score. Johnston 24, Dowling 17. And we'll return to the Johnston Gym in 1 minute on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Have you heard that the church once prohibited Bible reading, or that the scriptures were kept in Latin so the people couldn't understand it? Some myths die hard, I guess. Yes, the church has taken a cautious approach to protect God's word from those who would mistranslate it or distort its meaning, especially when you consider that the majority of the world's population was and remains illiterate and uneducated. That being said, Catholic popes and bishops in every century have encouraged Catholics to learn and meditate upon God's written word. The Bible was in Latin, so it wasn't a dead language, but the universal educational language of the Western world. Anyone who was going to read the Bible would have been able to read it in Latin. And at a time when dialects changed within very short distances, it was important to have a standard language for the church. Still, the Catholic Church did allow translations of the Bible into the local languages. In fact, when Luther did his famous Bible translation into German, over 25 had already been done. The Catholic society of the Middle Ages was one deeply steeped in the Scriptures, as Henry Graham's great book, Where We Got the Bible, explains. Consider this, their greatest works of architecture were neither skyscrapers nor sports stadiums, but cathedrals built to the glory of God. This is Greg Ewell for Faith Check.
Coach knows the song. Burn, baby. Burn.
I know.
It's a legendary song. Mark Amadale alongside head coach Kristen Meyer and Layla Tritton here at halftime of the boys contest. Johnston 24, Dowling 17. And ladies, thanks for joining us. You know, tough night here at the Johnston Gym, as it always seems to be for opposing teams. What a game we saw back and forth. But Coach Meyer, it was Johnston down the stretch, and they start banking threes. You know something's up.
Yeah, they made a couple big ones. That kind of made it a little different. A couple threes, and then the inbounds at the buzzer, the shot clock. So
pay no attention to the guy to your right, Mr. Jeff Lorenz, the longtime voice of the Johnston Gym, and we appreciate their tribute to Denny O'Grady, not only in Game 1 but also Game 2. That's very thoughtful of their administration and Jeff. But Layla, what'd you think? You were mixing it up out there, and you had the hot hand, and
yeah, I thought we knew obviously we know Johnston. They have a lot of the similar players that we've seen in the past, and we know what they like to run. And it's just Johnston versus Dowling, like it's always a big game. So going into it, we knew kind of what we needed to work on and what they would do and who their main scorers were. And I thought at some points we did a pretty good job of stopping that or doing what we were supposed to, but we need to get into a habit of doing it every single time.
Well, it was kind of a game of runs. When I look back at my score sheet, nobody got more than a 6 or an 8 point lead until the end when free throws decided it. So it was kind of back and forth. Seemed like you were playing from behind most of the game, but in that third quarter, you took the lead. And I think you had a 5 point lead at one point, Layla. So you had to be feeling pretty good about this rock fight going back and forth.
Yeah, I would say yes, but I'd also say we knew it wasn't over. Like, it would have came up to the last seconds. And we knew it was going to be a game of runs and not to get too comfortable, but I think when we had a lead, we definitely need to find a way to do a better job of not only maintaining the lead, but getting stops on defense and maybe being more patient to use more of the time to our advantage.
Well, Coach, you had a nice run in that second quarter right before half. You were down 6 at the end of the first quarter, but a 17-10 run right before the half. You had to be pretty pleased how your team was playing and defensively, some one-and-dones down there for the Dragons in the paint.
Yeah, we came out a little bit slow in the first, and then once we settled down, second quarter was much better for us, which gave us a little momentum going into halftime. Then we came out in the third quarter pretty strong, and as you said, then they kind of went on a little run, and Jenica hits that deep three at the end of the third and, shifts momentum a little bit. But we still had plenty of opportunities. We just got to take advantage of those a little bit better.
Coach Meyer, what was the message at halftime? Up one after trailing most of the first half. You lead by one, and obviously it was more of the same what the game plan was going in, because now it was just a matter of executing and finishing in the second half.
Yeah, the first message was grab the ball. We had some rebounds that we just didn't grab. Like, that can't happen. And we made just a couple adjustments offensively. And then defensively, I thought we did really well in the second quarter. So it was just kind of trying to settle in with that and take care of the ball a little bit, make sure we found some shots we wanted offensively.
Well, inside, Ellie Muller against Amani Jenkins, that was kind of a back and forth, and they basically all squared there, but Katie Muller didn't have her best shooting night, and I think Johnston had a lot to do with that, with Ari Phillips and Jenica Lewis, but they really paid attention to, they have to take somebody away. Obviously they didn't take Layla away. Somebody's going to be open. That's the thing about this team. Anybody can be the leading scorer on a given night.
Yeah, I think we need to do a little bit better job of finding that open person. I think we need to do a few things X's and O's wise, a little bit different with Oli down when she's the post. They're kind of sagging off her a little bit. We need to make her more of a threat. There's a few times I thought we forced it, got into the lane, got a little too deep, picked up the ball, and then all of a sudden we didn't have anyone to pass it to. So we did a lot of really good things, and they're a very good team, so they just showed us a few things that we need to clean up and do a little bit better.
All right, Layla, you got to put this one aside, flush it, and get ready for Friday night. Another battle with 10th-ranked Waukee coming to the Dowling Gym, a place where you guys have practiced a lot this year. Yeah. We've only had one home game in the, this is game number
game 7.
This will be 8th game, and you're playing.
Yeah, I need to contact our scheduler and
we just talked about that.
Let them get a piece of my mind.
Yeah.
Come on, all the home games this year. You can be away next year.
Well, but the home ones will be in January then.
Oh.
Says a senior who will be in college, not worried about our schedule next year. She's not worried about our schedule next year.
And we play all 5 of our non-conference games are all on neutral courts. So we do give up a couple home games by not playing any home.
That's true.
Non-conference, but we'll get 8 home conference games.
All right.
Saving them.
Waukee, back to your question, Layla Tritton. Friday night, you're a senior.
Yep.
Last time you're going to play them at home, and I know they're a tremendous team. They're one of those top 10 teams in 5A. Talk about the matchup. What do you know about them?
We know they have good players. I mean, same thing. I mean, we've been around a while. They have lots of seniors or people that we know. And I think it comes down to, especially after tonight's game, we have to go back to our fundamentals. Like, rankings doesn't matter who we're against. We just need to go out there and play how we know we can play, because I don't think we showed necessarily our A game today. So I think we need to work on trying to find ways to play better and better so we can keep getting to our peak.
Well, you have Wednesday and Thursday to practice and work on that. Break down film. I know coaches will do that. I got to ask Layla this. Where did you and Oli park at? Because I want to be sure I'm okay getting out of here.
Today I just drove myself.
Oh, thank goodness.
Hopefully.
I think it's just Valley where we had the parking issues.
She wasn't helping me. She was just yelling at me.
It is theater, Coach, with these two.
Oh, trust me, I know. I'm around them every day.
Well, yeah, you are.
We love them, though.
Yeah, but you have a faculty parking lot. It's a free-for-all in the Valley and the Waukee and Johnston parking lots. Layla, what's next for you? You're a senior. Where are you headed? What are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm still deciding if I want to play basketball or not, and then I'm not sure if I want to study like architecture for schooling or what. So it's kind of a matter of figuring out which path I kind of want to take.
Well, you're off
she's waiting to see if she can get a 5th year. So she's not committing anywhere yet to see if she can get a 5th year for us here at Dowling.
You can do that?
No.
Only if the other seniors can stay.
We'll put in a petition to try to.
A petition.
Maybe I just
Well, you don't want to stay if it's just me and the other coaches?
I mean,
only if the seniors stay?
Maybe I'll just become a coach.
Hey, okay.
There you go. Well,
you can join our staff.
Yeah, well, we talked about the other senior, but one of 4 seniors, and that's, gosh, it seems like you've been here for 6 years, so you don't really need another extra year of eligibility. Hadn't she been playing since freshman year? I mean,
you betcha.
I kind of remember that, but well, best of luck to whatever you decide. You'll do well.
Thank you.
And, a tough loss here in the road, as long as you learn from it.
Yeah.
I think the team will.
Yes.
Locker room probably wasn't the most happiest locker room, but
nope.
Johnston had a lot to do with that, and you'll have a lot to do with the future, you and your teammates. So, Coach Myers, any final comments before Friday night? Rare home game.
I know, we're looking forward to it. It's finals week this week as well, so it's a little bit different of a schedule, and
sure.
They got that as well. So we may take it easy tomorrow and then prep a little bit. Waukee Friday night. We've got Hopkins from Minnesota on Saturday. Here at Johnston. So
you're back here.
Big way to end. We got 3 more days of finals, so they got to take care of their schoolwork, and then 2 pretty big games, and we get a little break with Christmas break, which is definitely needed.
Absolutely. Ladies, thanks for joining us here at halftime. Best of luck Friday night, and the sun will rise tomorrow, Layla Tritton. It will rise.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break and come back. I want to thank Layla Tritton and Kristen Myers, our guests from the girls basketball team. Halftime, Johnston 24, Dowling 17, the boys contest. Back in 1 minute on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from the Catholic Tuition Organization. Reduce or eliminate your Iowa income tax and instead give to the Catholic Tuition Organization and receive 75% Iowa tax credits. These tax credits are going fast, so reserve yours today and learn more about the Catholic Tuition Organization at ctoiowa.org. ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their futures.
Catholic Tuition Organization, a great investment in our kids.
Support for programming is provided by Construction Professionals, serving customers through a proven process, creating unique design, functionality, and artistic beauty. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. cpcustomhomes.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610. ashworthvision.com.
And welcome back to the Johnston Gym. Underneath is Johnston with the basketball, 24-19. Dragons by 5 as we start the third quarter. Charlie Klain with a block shot on Carter Looney, out of bounds to the Dragons as we're underway here in the third quarter. Our halftime score was 24-17 Johnston, and the Maroons get a basket by Nathan Jenkins, his 9th point to start the third quarter. Now Crane commits the foul as they post up Carter Looney. That'll be Charlie's second foul. So, Jimmy, we're just going to air this out for everybody to hear. Dowling had 2 made baskets in the third quarter, 2 twos and 1 3. Johnston had 4 twos and 1 3 in the second quarter. I'm sorry. So you can help with your stats as we get underway. Our thanks to Kristen Myers and Layla Tritton, our guest at halftime. Layla, one of the 4 seniors in the Dowling team. Tino Day, free throw line shot, no good. Crane with the rebound, a whistle and a foul on Carter Looney of Johnston. That'll be his second foul. And both teams with a foul each here in the third quarter. Take a look at scoring in the first half. Nathan Jenkins leading the way for Dowling with 7 points. He now has 9 as he made a field goal here in this third quarter. 5 points each for Charlie Crane, Noah Martins. And then Maddox Capola did not score. Neither did Gio Keelis off the bench, nor did Quincy Moore for the Maroons. As we got a whistle and a foul on Johnston on Dowling's offensive end here, Jimmy.
Well, Johnston has greatly slowed down what the Maroons like to do, and so the Maroons are now going more side to side than they going north and south to the basket. So Johnston's doing what they can do to keep the Maroons from attacking the basket with their body, but that time gets called for the first foul of the second half.
Maroons went 3 of 6 at the free throw line in the first half, and all those free throws were shot in the first quarter, actually. As Johnston outscored Dowling 11-7 in the second quarter. Maroons with the basketball. Capola with it. Maddox kicks it out. Top of the key and the right side of Noah Martins. Dragons in a man-to-man defense, and now here is Paoli down the lane and kicks it over in the corner. The ball slapped away. Rotating down is Tino Day.
So, the Maroons come out second half, talked about it in the first half, is attack the basket. When they collapse, look for the kick out, and that time as Paoli was attacking the basket, Maddox Capola was sitting out on the wing, just got knocked out. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Maroons got to force this one in.
Here's Martins between the circles. Guarded by Prestige Taylor. Long three up, no good. Offensive rebound. Crane is put back up and in. Charlie Crane getting active on the glass. Now has 7 points.
Charlie's shown a lot of that offensive prowess on missed shots, getting rewarded with the putbacks. We've seen that throughout the short games we've covered with the Maroons. But that's certainly a part of Charlie Crane's offense, is finding that offensive rebound and putting it back in.
All right, here's Looney. Backs in against Crane. His shot no good. Hit the back iron. Crane with the rebound. 24-21. Johnston's 12-point lead down to 3 with 5:15 to go here in the third quarter. Capola on the baseline, working one-on-one, kicks it out to Crane for 3. It's no good. Tip no good by the Maroons. Paoli with the miss and the rebound out to Johnston. We'll get the Johnston first half numbers here in a moment. Dribble driving down the lane is Tino Day. Can't get off a shot. Now kicks it out to Richardson. Over to Frankie Schoenauer. Schoenauer, who's now in the lineup for Johnston, number 21. Now, left-handed shot, no good by Prestige Taylor. Out of bounds to Dowling. Schoenauer name's kind of familiar. His dad, Frank. I remember doing games at the Dowling gym with Frank, and now Frankie, one of the seniors.
That's Frank's grandson.
Is it grandson? Now you tell me. It could be.
Frank's done my carpet.
We got their cousins. We got Frankie Schoenauer, and Barrick Schoenauer, 6'7" senior. So we got the Schoenauer fans, and Dowling underneath. Shot no good, knocked out of bounds. Nice block that time by Natish Sakaranti.
The Maroons have quietly cut into this Johnston lead. Maroons just down 3 with the ball. 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. So Maroons are quietly chipping away, finding ways to get the ball in the bucket, but certainly are being held down in their offensive output, as Johnston's been playing some really, really tough defense.
Yes, they have. And now a long three by the Maroons. It's no good by Capola. Offensive rebound, Dowling. Paoli with the rebound. Now underneath, a shot up and good. That's Noah Martins with the basket. It's a 1-point Johnston lead. The Maroons have rallied back. Martins with his 7th point. 24-23 Johnston. Under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. We get a stoppage here. We'll run down some of the other numbers of the first half. Day for 3, good. Boy, talk about a giant killer. 13 points for Day.
Yeah, he's just quietly getting his point output, creeping up to his average, sitting with 13 points and averaging almost 19 a game. As Tino Day is a nice outside shooter that you can't keep him open too often.
There's Martins with it over to Jenkins. Nathan leaves it for his teammate Paoli, who wasn't on the same page. Out of bounds, turnover against Dowling.
But you're seeing a lot of what we were talking about again, is that the Maroons are now finding guys with their feet set outside the arc, so that when they do penetrate into that basket, look for the kick out. Just that time, Johnston's now finding those passing lanes to limit the Maroons' opportunity to kick out and hit the shots.
27-23 Johnston with the lead. Dowling stays man-to-man on defense. 3 minutes to play, third quarter. With the ball is Prestige Taylor. Picks up his dribble. Dowling stays man-to-man. Haven't seen any zone tonight. We don't expect to. There's Day with it. Little two-man game. Leaves it for Bargiolo. Back out to Richardson. Shot clock goes off. Richardson shot no good. Fight for the rebound, and Natish comes away with it for Johnston. Wow.
Good position right as the shot clock goes off. Errant shot by Richardson, but Soccerati is sitting at the rim getting the offensive rebound.
Yes, he is. And now pull-up jumper in the lane by Prestige Taylor is no good. Fight for the rebound out of bounds to Dowling. Soccerati knocked it out. He gets active. When he's in there, you know something's happened. He's going to try to block a shot. He's going to keep the ball alive, do the little things, and that time he tipped the ball out of bounds.
Knows his role, especially in a Courtney Henderson offense and defense. He's going to be sitting around the paint where in the past, I remember Northwest, he was sitting on the outside hitting baseline three-point shots over and over again.
And Dowling with the ball. Crane underneath. His shot up. Rolls off the rim. No good. Tip no good. Out of bounds to Dowling. Good hustle that time by Lucas Paoli. He followed Crane's shot, but he couldn't get the tip to fall. And it went out of bounds off Johnston. Dragons going to get a little bit taller. Carter Looney will check in for Natish Soccerante.
Quincy Moore coming in for Charlie Crane. 2 minutes to go in the third. Give Charlie a little bit of break as he's going to have to play a big role here in the fourth quarter.
Also in there for Dowling, Gio Keelis. Keelis leaves it for Paoli. Little two-man game on the left side, and Paoli down the lane. Shot too strong, no good. Offensive rebound, Dowling. Quincy Moore with the rebound. Underneath, reverse layup, no good. Moore with another rebound, has it stripped away, and a reach-in foul on Johnston. And they may get Looney for the reach-in. We'll see. They're going to call it on Bargiolo. And that'll be his third. 13 foul on Johnson here in the third quarter. 1 on Dowling. Minute 35 to go. Dragons by 4, 27-23. Not a high-scoring game. Both teams come in averaging 50s and 60s. Now Keelis for three, right wing, no good, and Looney comes away with it. Johnson with the basketball. Minute 15 to go in the third. Here's Taylor with it. Prestige kicks it back out to Richardson. They rolled over the right side to Day. Dribble handoff to Prestige Taylor. Now they work the left side, and that's Bargiolo, and we got an illegal screen on Johnston.
Offensive foul.
That'll be
turnover number
on Looney, his third.
Just turnover number 3 for Johnston on the game as they.
Wow.
I mean, they've handled the ball really well throughout this game and making the Maroons work for every shot on the defensive end. As you know, you mentioned, it's a low-scoring game. Maroons 23 points. They average 64, 65 points a game, so well under their average. As Johnson has a lot to do with that tonight.
Dowling with the ball in the front court. This is Noah Martins with it on the right side. To Keelis. Gio with it. Now dribbles in the lane. Goes against Nakari Cavill. Now kicks it back out. Here's Jenkins with it. Man-to-man, chest-to-chest defense by Johnston. Now Jenkins takes his man inside. Kicks it back out. Maddox Capola with it. Leaves it for Keelis for three. Up. No good. And rebound Johnston. Good hustle by Cavill. Now he'll launch the three in the corner. It's no good. Rebound Dowling and Capola. Well, behind the back goes Martins. And the ball tipped out of bounds by Johnston as the teams get after it in the open court, didn't they?
I think that's just more of Dowling's game is any time you get a miss, fortunate enough to get a miss, you got to get that rebound and you got to go and really work transition, try to get an easy shot on transition because the offensive setups, as we've talked about Johnson, really prohibiting Dowling to really get into their offensive game. So any missed shots, quick turnovers, got to push the pace, and the Maroons have failed to do a lot of that tonight.
All right, Capola on the left side. Three-pointer good by Noah Martins. The Maroons needed that as they have cut the lead to 1, and Martins with his 10th point. And we've come to the end of the third quarter with the score. Johnston 27, Dowling 26. Alongside Jimmy Cataldo, Mark Hamadel will be back with the fourth quarter in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Thought of the Day with Monsignor Frank Bagnano.
Over the years, people have asked me about prayer. What is prayer? I like to quote one of the great women spiritual masters of the church, St. Theresa of Avila. She describes prayer as a loving conversation with the one who I know loves me. It's love talk with God. With the eyes of faith, I see his acts of love in my daily life. Love draws love. I spontaneously want to love him in return. So when I pray, first thing I do, I thank God for his love. I spend time simply saying, I love you too. Secondly, I try to listen to God's words, his inspirations, ideas, usually by prayerfully reading the scriptures. And finally, I ask for his support and guidance. Try praying like that. Thank, listen, ask. A great formula for prayer. And that is today's thought of the day.
Johnston High School Gym in West Des Moines, Game 2 of our girl-boy doubleheader. In Game 1, it was number 1 Johnston in the girls contest, defeating second-ranked Dowling 49-41. The boys contest, Johnston with a 27-26 lead. We go to the fourth quarter. They get it to Looney, and he slams it home. That'll take care of that. And the Dragons' lead is now 3, 29-26, after Dowling Jimmy outscored Johnston 9-3 in that third quarter.
Strong offensive play coming out of the quarter, and pick and roll, getting the ball in for an easy shot there. And
here's Keyless' shot, no good. And Quincy Moore, offensive rebound. What is that, a second or third tonight?
Third one in 2 possessions, really, for the Maroons.
And a whistle and a foul on Carter Looney, and that is his 4th. Out of bounds to Dowling, so
quickly goes through some of the numbers through 3 quarters. Maroons are shooting 42% from the field.
Quincy Moore with the basket while you were talking. Go ahead.
42%, 3 of 12 from 3, 14 total rebounds from the Maroons, 6 turnovers. For Johnston, 45% from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 10 total rebounds, and 3 turnovers. So really high contested game, just a 1-point lead by Johnston here in the beginning of the fourth quarter.
All right, Dragons with it underneath, and a shot up and no good, and Moore picks up the foul after a nice dribble drive that time by Jalen Richardson. And on Quincy, that'll be his first. Look at the free throws here tonight. Dowling, 3 of 6. Johnston just 1 of 2. Haven't saw a whole lot of these. I think they're all coming.
This is a type of game where it's kind of like everybody's just conserving energy, everything, working for shots. And usually in the fourth quarter, the water starts opening up, and they just start rolling with the transition. So see if this game starts picking up its pace here in the fourth quarter, as both teams have been held in check offensively. Both teams well under their averages for the season. So see maybe an uptick in tempo here in the fourth quarter.
And the second free throw good. Just got an update on some weather conditions out there. We got some freezing rain moving into central Iowa. Some of us only have about a mile to go home. Others have a few more miles.
You know what this means? If there's any precipitation at all, you start running. You'll cut off this broadcast and get to your car so you're home safe, and you don't care about any of us else. And
the guy that was sitting in your chair gave us. I thought I was going to get a score update, and he gives us a weather update. Mike Burkert. So I just wanted you to kind of plan that way.
That's awesome.
If you need to hang out somewhere until things cool over.
Well,
I'll see if Come and Go's open or Casey's or something like that. We got a timeout on the floor. Our score: Johnston 31, Dowling 28. Mark Hamadale, Jimmy Cataldo. You got some more numbers you want to throw?
I just you look at what the Maroons are doing. We talked about it at the break. Is Noah Martins and Jenkins have really been the shining light for the Maroons. Martins with 10 and Jenkins with 9 points tonight. So 2 guys that have really been a spotlight. Charlie Crane has been held in check. I believe he has 7 points, but he's conserved. He's not in any foul trouble. So Crane coming in maybe here at this timeout and see which he is, and see if he starts picking up the pace, getting some offensive rebounds, and really getting to his numbers as he does with offensive on the offensive side.
Tonight's game in the Iowa Catholic Radio Network brought to you in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Blessman International, Bozen the Florist, and Construction Professionals. All right, we're underway after the timeout. Dowling basketball, they go right to left towards the south basket as we are up here on the track behind the scorers table here at Johnston High School. In the lane is Nathan Jenkins. A shot up and good. How about that? Jenkins taking it to his old school.
Well, there's a lot of familiarity with Jenkins with this team, and so he knows some of their strengths and weaknesses, and he's taking the ball to the basket really well tonight, and he's being rewarded with 11 points so far.
Yes, sir. Nathan, as you mentioned, with 11 points. The lead for Johnston is 31-30. Richardson for 3. It's off the mark, no good. Rebound, Crane and Dowling. One and done. Outlet pass goes to Coppola. Maddox in the front court. Works the side, left side to Paoli. Dribble drives the lane, kicks it over. Now backing in is Jenkins. Now backdoor cut, a turnaround shot no good by Paoli. Rebound Johnston and Richardson. 31-30, under 6 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Dragons in the front court. Here's Tino Day with it. They'll do their dribble weave between Richardson, Day, and Avi Taylor. Now they got an offensive foul on Johnson. They're going to call that on Tish Sankaranthi.
No, I think they're going to get Cavill on the hook. You know, as he's trying to dribble around, I believe Paoli he hooked him with his opposite arm, and that's an offensive foul.
Yeah, third foul on Cavill. Second team foul on Johnson here in the fourth quarter. Dowling with the ball. Coppola gets to Crane. Crane backs in against Natish. Backing in, right block. Shot up, blocked by Natish, and a foul on Natish. Natish Sankaranthi with the foul on free throws for Charlie Crane. That'll be his first foul.
I can't remember the last time the Maroons had the lead, and so with these two free throws, Maroons have an opportunity to take the lead.
They may have tied it, but I don't have them taking the lead at all. First free throw good by Charlie Crane. He has 8 points tonight. Noah Martins with 10 points. Second free throw up. Good. There's the first lead for Dowling. 5:21 to go in the fourth. Dowling by 1. Johnson the other way. In the front court, Richardson on the baseline. Fadeaway jumper off the back iron, no good. Rebound Dowling. Martin skying high for that one. No in the front court. Maroons will run their offense. With it is Coppola. Maddox goes in the lane. Shot up and no good. Off balance shot. Rebound Crane. It rolls off the rim. No good. Charlie can't believe that. And the rebound Johnston.
Right at the rim and just kind of rolls off. And so Maroons not finding an offensive input there, but keeping Johnston to a one and done situation the last few times down the court.
And now a nice move by Day. Layup good. Reverse layup by Tino Day. He's got 15. 33-32, Johnson retakes the lead by 1 with 4.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. Dowling with the ball. Right to left towards the south basket. With it is Martins. Dribbling baseline, reverse layup. Left it short and a rebound to Tish Sankaranthi and Johnston. Oh, tough break.
Right, reverse layup right there and just couldn't get it to go. I think the Maroons are just struggling right now getting the ball to go to the basket.
There's a saying in coaching, be a finisher. Especially in the fourth quarter. You got to be a finisher, and the Maroons have left 2 possessions there. Now here's Day, a fadeaway jumper, good from the right side, and the Maroons may need a timeout. Tino Day with another basket. He's got 17 points.
Smooth teardropper from the baseline.
Awesome shot.
Nothing but the bottom of the net. Such a pure shot.
Here's Coppola, battles in, right side, fadeaway jumper, good. Maddox Coppola, and I think that is his first field goal of the night. It is. 3.5 to go, and Johnston by 1, 35-34 over Dowling. Dragons trying to make a doubleheader sweep of the Maroons tonight. As the Johnston girls defeated Dowling 49-41 in game 1, and a whistle and a foul on Dowling. That'll be on Maddox Coppola, his first, and the second team foul on the Maroons here in the fourth quarter. Johnston with 3 team fouls with 3:15 remaining. Reminder, we'll be bringing you the Dowling-Waukee game this Friday night. It'll be the final doubleheader of girls and boys basketball of the 2024 portion of the season. And now here's Tino Day with the pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound Dowling. Paoli with the rebound. Lucas in the front court. Left it for Jenkins. Back to Paoli. Paoli has the ball stolen away. Now it's loose on the floor, and here comes Johnston. 2-on-1 fast break. Jenkins with the pass. Underneath the Day. Layup good. Day with 19 points.
Johnston just makes you pay with their defense. Gets a turnover. Strong transition game, and Day getting to the basket, and he hasn't missed too many around the basket tonight.
3-point lead for Johnston. Dowling with the ball. Martins in the lane. Gets cut off. Here it's Coppola with it, guarded by Richardson. Maddox goes right side, goes around Richardson and draws the foul. Be a non-shooting foul out of bounds. And on Richardson, that'll be his second foul.
I love seeing what Maddox has been doing the last couple of times down, is really bodying Richardson, getting to the basket hard and, getting to the, converting on one of them. But go back maybe 2 possessions ago, gets tangled up with Richardson. You can see Maddox' response to that is playing a little bit harder, attacking the basket.
All right, here's Maddox coming off a ball screen by Jenkins. Maddox on the right block, spins, whirls, now ball stolen away by Johnston, and we got a jump ball called between Coppola and Prestige Taylor of Johnston. And we got a 30-second timeout called by Dowling. So we'll keep it here with 2:02 to go in the fourth quarter. Johnston's lead is 3. Dowling's had a taste of the lead. 1-point lead once tonight here in the fourth quarter. And, boy, it's about closing and finishing right here, Coach Cataldo.
It becomes the value of each possession. And as I mentioned, Johnston's making you work for every single point you've gotten tonight, as have the Maroons. The Maroons playing great defense against Johnston, but the value of every possession right now, especially being down by 3 with the Maroons, come out of a timeout here, have a play drawn up, attack the basket. If it's not there, look for a kick out. Guys who are knocking down shots has been Martin's. Martin's been really hot in the last few games, so see if you can get Martin's feet set somewhere outside the three-point arc and see if he can knock it down.
Tonight's game in the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, and I want to thank Catholic Tuition Organization, Fast Signs in Clive, Mercy One, and somewhere that Mr. Cataldo will be knocking on the door of, and that's Skeffington's Formal Wear. Got a special announcement to mention. Have you been practicing walking your daughter down the aisle? I mean, you need lessons.
Well, obviously you're alluding that my daughter got engaged, so any type of company deals with Bosun the florist. Hey, listen.
There's upcharges anytime you're involved. A lot of upcharges. Dowling with the ball out of the timeout, and they have a shot clock violation. Ball got slapped around, and shot clock violation. I saw the official.
Martins gets the ball to the rim and just a little out of control and just doesn't get any touch of the rim. So shot violation, turnover on the Maroons, turnover number 8.
Yeah, any foul on Johnston, Dowling will be at the free throw line because they'll be in the double bonus. Johnston with 14 fouls, Dowling with 2. Minute 30 to go, and a near steal by the Maroons and Paoli, and we got a whistle and a foul on Paoli, I believe. Let's see what William Dotson tells us, and he did. So second foul on Lucas. Minute 29 remaining in the fourth quarter. Johnston by 3, and they'll have the basketball and a brand new shot clock.
Just a big defensive stop Maroons need to get here. Being down 3. Minute and a half to go in the game, and got to get a stop here. See if you can cut it in. If not, tie the game on an offensive side. But see if the Maroons can get a stop. Keep the ball out of Tino Day's hands, as he's been knocking everything down, it seems like, tonight.
All right, here is Prestige Taylor with it for Johnston, guarded by Noah Martins. They run their weave. And here's Avi Taylor coming off a ball screen. Gets it to Day. Tino with it, the free throw line, guarded by Charlie Crane. Now there's a mismatch. Coppola has Looney. A long 3 coming. It's no good. Rebound Dowling. One and done is Johnston. Paoli with the rebound. 50 seconds to play, and Dowling down by 3 here in the fourth quarter.
Again, drawing a foul here puts you at the line.
Absolutely, and stops the clock.
So don't stop being aggressive and see if you can get to the rim or look for a kick out.
Coppola fakes the 3, goes down, and draws the foul. Foul will be on Richardson, his third, and Maddox Coppola to the free throw line. The clock stopped at 34 seconds. So no more shot clock the rest of the regulation here. And the Maroons down 3.
Coppola hasn't found his way to the free throw line too often this season. Is shooting 66%. Knocks down the first one.
Coppola with his 3rd point of the night. All in the fourth quarter. He was held scoreless in the first half. Second free throw, good. Maddox with 4 points. And we've got a full timeout, and we'll take it with him. 34 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter in the CIML boys game. And it's Johnston 37, Dowling 36 here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Bozen the Florist. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, weddings, whatever the message, say more with Bozen. Bozen.com, 515-244-ROSE. Bozen makes the moment mean more.
Fast Signs is a custom sign and visual solutions company with an extensive selection of digital signage, interior and exterior signs, banners, and vehicle wraps. Learn more at fastsigns.com. Thank you, Fast Signs in Clive, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formal Wear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formal Wear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
And we're back here at the Johnston High School gym. Mark Emmerdale, Jimmy Cataldo. Final 34 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Shot clock turned off. Johnston 37, Dowling 36. Full court pressure. Johnston the length of the court to go. They get it over to Prestige Taylor. Now to Day, back to Taylor, and they get it across the timeline. And they foul Nakari Cavill, who will go to the, who will be team foul number 3 on Dowling, excuse me.
Fourth team foul now for the Maroons.
Jenkins with his first foul.
Which you're going to force try to turn over. Can't get the turnover, get the foul. The shot clock turned off, so Johnston can command this side of the court.
Leo Pagano in there for the Maroons, number 22. Defensive purposes, and I'll whistle a foul on Dowling. And Jenkins picks up his second foul, and I think that was more of a who do we want to foul type deal. And
well, I don't think they got the message.
They sent a Tino Day to the line as an 83% free throw shooter. Yikes. I didn't see that.
But
free throw good.
Johnston as a team is 81%, almost 82% on the year as a team, so it's tough to figure out which one you want to foul.
Free throw by Day good. He's got 20 points, 2-point lead. 38-36 Johnston. 21 seconds remaining. Day's second free throw is good. Rolls around the rim and falls through. He's got 21 points. Yeah, Johnston shooting 82% as a team at the free throw line.
The Maroons can still look for a 2-point shot here. Don't need to force a 3, even if you're down 3. Try to just get an easy 2.
39-36 Johnston. Maroons in the front court. Martins. Corner 3 by the Maroons by Paoli is no good, and a foul on Crane. And free throws coming for Johnston and Caleb Bargiolo. Charlie Crane with his third foul. Bargiolo perfect on the year at 2 for 2, and we'll get a chance here to make it a 2-possession game. 7 seconds remaining. So Bargiolo at the line, eyes the bucket. They'll get 2. There's both teams with 5 fouls. Free throw good. You know what? That young man looked like he's been there before, even though it was only his third attempt of the season.
Extends it to a 2-possession lead for Johnston. Makes it extremely tough.
40-36. Johnston. Second free throw, no good. Rebound, Crane. 6 seconds remaining. Dowling with it. Here's Keelis for 3. It's no good, and that'll do it. Johnston Dragons will continue their mastery over the Dowling boys. Final score, Johnston 40, Dowling 36. Dragons outscore Dowling 13-10 in that fourth quarter to win it. And the Dragons, they now lead the series 23-17 over Dowling, and they've won 3 of their last 4 matchups with the Maroons. And tonight, the old rock fight, low-scoring game. Johnston averaging 55 points. They scored 40. Dowling averaging 64 points. They were held to 36 points tonight, Jimmy.
But as a team, Johnston is keeping their opponents down just over 40 points a game. So their defensive effort was certainly on par tonight, keeping the Maroons just at 36. But the Maroons, 28 points less than their season average. So certainly Johnston as we mentioned, who's going to control the tempo of the game, and it certainly was Johnston tonight, making Dowling work for every shot that they got tonight, and kept the Maroons off the offensive rebounds for the most part. The Maroons got there a couple times and was able to put it back, but poor shooting night as the game wandered on for the Maroons, as they just found no success in what they've been so successful doing this year, which has been attacking the basket and using their athleticism to create shots around the rim and converting. The Maroons just found it a tough time tonight against a very, very tough defended Johnston team.
Final score, Johnston defeating Dowling 40-36, our final here, and it's a doubleheader sweep for the Johnston Dragons. In Game 1, Johnston girls defeated Dowling 49-41. Alongside Jimmy Cataldo, I'm Mark Amadeo. Roman Wilkham, our studio producer. We appreciate what he's doing back at the Iowa Catholic Radio studios. And we're going to take a break. We'll come back, take a 2-minute break. We'll come back with our post-game show. Keep an eye on the guy to your right, Mr. Bossum. He's got that purple on.
I'm a big fan of Grant Bossum.
Oh, now you are.
Oh, yeah. I've always been a big fan.
Okay. We'll take a break. 2-minute break. 40-36 our score. Johnston a final over Dowling Catholic, and we will be back after this break on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is Dale Ahlquist with a Chesterton Minute. Have you ever heard someone say that the church needs to keep up with the times? G.K. Chesterton says that all this talk about keeping up with the times has been uttered hundreds of times before. To be up to date, he says, is a paltry ambition, except in an almanac. The church certainly does not need to imitate the secular world. In fact, what does the word secular mean? It does not mean worldly. It does not even mean irreligious. To be secular simply means to be of the age. That is, of the age which is passing. And in the case of anyone trying to keep up with the times, the age that is already past. So what the word secular really means is dated. The church's truth is never out of date because it is eternal. Want more than a minute? Chesterton.org.
Ladies, would you like to know what it is that men really want? I am Father Thomas Loya with a Theology of the Body moment for the Tabor Life Institute. In complement to woman's body, the body of a man is designed to act upon the environment, to go up against things greater than he is. Men are designed to defend, protect, tear down, build, resist, invent, in short, to accomplish the task. Their greatest desire, therefore, is to be told that they have what it takes, they measure up, and have indeed accomplished the task. Conversely, a man's greatest fear is to be told that he is not adequate, that he is a failure. A man wants to see reflected in the eyes of his woman the essential message of his manhood. Yes, I do believe in you, honey. You are my knight in shining armor. Ladies, when a man hears that message, he will do anything for you. To find out more about the theology of the body, visit taborlife.org. Taborlife.org.
Welcome back to the Johnston High School gym. Final score tonight in the boys contest, it was Johnston 40, Dowling Catholic 36. Dowling suffers its first loss of the season. The Maroons are now 4-1. Johnston improves its record to 5-1 in the Central Iowa Metro League doubleheader. And it was a sweep for the Dragons. In girls' game, it was Johnston 49, Dowling 41. And Maroons, typical rock fight as we expected. Low scoring, both teams way below their offensive average when they meet each other. But Courtney Henderson gets the best of the Maroons once again. And a game we saw not a whole lot of free throws. The Maroons went 7 of 10 at the line. Johnston 6 of 8. So not a whole lot of free throws attempted. It was done on the court there, Jimmy.
It just every night you got to come out and you got to compete in the CML because you're playing top talented kids every time you step on the court. And the Maroons tonight, stepped on against Johnston, as you mentioned. It was a hard fought game throughout, and the Maroons struggled offensively to really find a guy to get hot and carry the Maroons through a tough shooting night as Johnston made them work for everything. And we talked about this Dowling team is what we've liked about them is how unselfish they've been, is that how athletic they've been. And you come down the court and any one of the 5 guys on the court, it can be an offensive threat. And we've liked that about the Maroons. But I think tonight was a night you really wanted to see somebody who find a hot hand, find the guy who's going to carry you through a tough shooting night, and the Maroons just really didn't identify who that was going to be. I thought Martin's had his moments. Jenkins had certainly had his moments against a team that he's very accustomed to in Johnston. But the Maroons just really didn't find a shining star offensively that they could, or that kid could put them on their back and carry them through a tough night that they had.
Well, at halftime, it was Johnston leading Dowling 24-17. I think the Dragons had as much as a 12-point lead tonight. The Maroons come storming back in that third quarter, held Johnston to just 3 points, one 3-point field goal by, I believe it was Tino Day, and it was. And the Maroons outscore Johnston 9-3. That's when you think the comeback come in that third quarter, and then Johnston just kind of answers, timeout, slow it down, work the shot clock, and get your best player.
Well, it just shows you how much I know. I predicted it. Everything was kind of conserved through three quarters. I thought the fourth quarter was going to be up tempo. These things were going to move around, and I think the game slowed down even more. So, kind of something that I expected just didn't occur. But again, as you mentioned, as the Maroons kind of chipped away throughout the game, got to a 1-point lead, and just couldn't maintain that. And hats off to Johnston the way they played tonight. Frustrating Dowling offensively, and again, when you have a team that doesn't have a ton of experience, you get against a Johnston team that's going to defend you throughout your whole offensive set, and the shot clock certainly can be, like I said, a very, very frustrating night.
Johnston led at halftime 24-17. Dowling outscored Johnston in the second half 19-16, but the Dragons hung on for a 4-point win over Dowling Catholic. The Maroons were led in scoring. 2 players in double figures, led by Nathan Jenkins, the ex-Johnston Dragon, with 11 points. Noah Martins with 10, 9 points for Charlie Crane. And then rounding out scoring, Max Capola with 4 points, all in the fourth quarter for the Maroons. And Quincy Moore off the bench with 2 points. The Maroons were 7 of 10 at the line. For Johnston, they were led by the one and only Tino Day with 21 points. He was the only player in double figure for the Dragons. Their post player, Carter Looney, the 6'11 postman, with 8 points. 5 points for Jalen Richardson, and then 3 points for Avi Taylor, and 2 points for his brother, Prestige Taylor, for the Dragons, as they went 6 of 8 at the free throw line. And now we are joined by head coach Justin Einerson of the Dowling boys basketball team, who suffered their first loss of the year. And Coach, I know couldn't be very happy in that locker room for the first time this year, but you know what? A lot of growing pains will go on with this game, and you turn right around and take on Waukee, a team that hasn't been very friendly to Dowling lately. But what was the mood? What were your thoughts on this game, especially after trailing by 7 at halftime, coming back and then taking a lead late in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, we never clutched up, that was for sure. We got a 0-point performance by one of our starters, which is mind-bending. But I will say we've gotten really good at attacking mismatches, and there aren't any when Johnston's playing defense. So I think we started to get into like our fall league pound, where we're just trying to back people down and pound it, and everybody's standing around, and that's not what we do. I think that's kind of a misnomer with the dribble drives. Everybody just stands and watches, and one guy makes a play. But every time there's a dribble, there should be 4 guys moving, and it took us about, I would say, a quarter and a half to get back to that, and that's where we started to score in the second quarter. So that was positive. I thought our defense was really solid, but just kind of an immature performance in general. I thought nobody really rise to the action, to the moment tonight, and that's what happens when you play a team like this on their floor. Yeah, it was, as Jimmy and I were talking, kind of a rock fight, if you will. Yeah. And you knew this coming in. When anytime you play a Courtney Henderson team, defense will be prevalent. Even with the shot clock, it's still going to be prevalent, and they're going to make you earn your points. Yeah, I'm going to petition for a 24-second clock. I got to keep doing this. He's all NBA, Jimmy. He's Mr. NBA. He's a big Bucks guy. They run 3 sets, so they'll run 1 and then 2, and then the third one's to score. So I used to do that in Texas, and it's honestly I'm not a big fan of it. But the cool thing was we were able to play this style pretty successfully for a while. So that's a positive. You were. Visit with Justin Einerson following tonight's game. Johnston defeated Dowling Catholic by the score of 40-36 in the boys' contest. Jimmy Cataldo. Yeah, so, you mentioned how Johnston forces you into that dribble pound type of offense, and
And it makes me recall over the last couple of years. This is, if you go back,
it's the exact game as last year.
It's the exact same game.
And we lost by 4 too.
And so and you can't mimic that in practice.
No.
But that's the expectation that when you play this Johnston team, that's the type of game you're going to play. We talked about in the pregame is who is going to set the tempo, and great job by Johnston. They really set the tempo, keeping you guys down to about 28% or 28 points less than your normal output. What do you teach your kids from a game like this, which is a little bit atypical from what you normally see?
Yeah, just sharpness. I just don't think we ran any of our actions very sharp. Like you might have noticed, we kept scoring on our set plays. Well, we're not going to live like that. We got to be able to score out of our motion. We got to be able to score without me calling something. And I thought we did a great job of executing those. Out of timeouts was great, but we got to be able to create actions or create looks off of our actions. I just don't think any of them were sharp. We had half-speed cuts. We were catching the passes in the wrong spots, so we couldn't attack. We fumbled a lot of catches in the first quarter, if you notice. Like stuff like that will absolutely bury you when a defense is this good, and it buried us.
And the timing sometimes was thrown off in that
completely.
first half. But the kids kind of navigated through that. I look at your post player, Noah Martins, and Quincy Moore did a tremendous job. I thought when Quincy had to come in, that was awesome. But they've kind of found their niche, but they're battling with some big boys. Carter Looney at 6'11", is senior. He's got a lot of experience. I thought they battled very well. But, sometimes when the shots don't fall. But that run you made, and I marked the clock, 5:21 left to go in the fourth quarter, you took your first lead.
Man, and then we missed 2 layups.
Then we had the empty possessions.
And then we had a loose ball that was tipped that didn't end up ours. We're going to be kicking ourselves. Thankfully, we play Friday, and we're not going into break right now. But, usually when you play a team like this and they actually call fouls because they tend not to for whatever reason, that works to our advantage, and we had them right where we wanted them. And just from that point with, 5 whatever left, we just could not throw it in the ocean.
It's something we had talked about in the first, at least in the first half, is that as you guys were working what you guys normally do, you're attacking the basket offensively, you're trying to get to the rim, as you guys have been so successful over the short season. As Johnston would collapse 3 guys, you really didn't find anybody setting their feet, but I think you made that adjustment at half, because coming out in the second half, as you guys were working your way to the basket, guys were having their feet set outside the arc. Martins knocks down a one in the second half, but Coppola gets his feet set a couple times. But you really didn't have that shooter that you needed.
Yeah, and Gio didn't score, I don't believe, either, and he's been averaging, 9 points a game off the bench. So, you think about him hitting 1 or 2, Lucas hitting 1 or 2, one of those layups going in the fourth quarter. There's a million ways we can win this game. It just didn't happen.
It just shows the diversity that you got to have against a team like this. Is that we're making a lot of success taking the basket, but when we need a shot, who's going to knock down that shot? And it's just getting kids into position. And this was the first time all year that I've seen where you guys needed to hit a jump shot from outside consistently, and it just didn't happen for you.
Right. Yeah, empty possessions and missed shots. The rematch, by the way, at Friday, January 24th. At the Dowling Gym. So you'll see your good buddy and our good buddy Courtney Henderson and company. They'll make the rematch. I don't know if he'll be there, but we'll be there, Coach.
Beautiful.
All right, well, moving on. You have Friday night, and then you got Friday, Saturday, don't you? Because
we're done. Girls play Saturday.
The girls play Saturday. You don't play again until January 3rd, so you got
Catholic
like
Classic.
you mentioned, 2 weeks off.
Yep. Big game Friday. There's plenty to fix. I think we're a lot better than what we showed tonight, so I think we'll be excited to get back to work tomorrow.
I think kids understanding a lot of the kids that they've played with are coming back. I know my son's coming back. A lot of kids I saw in the crowd today who've been part of your program over your short tenure. So knowing that a lot of guys are coming back to watching these kids on break, I think should get them a little bit
I'm sure they all had PTSD from this because they had this exact experience last year.
And I didn't realize it until you said it. I remember how
literally the exact
same.
Yeah.
Both times, yeah. It was a 2-point win by Johnston here, or no, 4-point win by Johnston here, and then
it was 4 there too. They ended up hitting a late 3 with the clock off.
Yeah.
So I think it was 7 actually.
Well, Waukee comes to Dowling Gym, a rare home game Friday night for this part of the season. So enjoy it, Coach. Hopefully the alumni are coming back.
Yeah.
Are they going to sit by us? Or are they going to sit over in the alumni section?
I just hope they get a Dowling shirt on. What are these guys? These guys coming in dressing like they're GQ. They go to college and all of a sudden they're too cool to wear Dowling stuff now. I'm gonna have to dig into the closet.
Well, the kids they don't need food money. They don't need meal money. They said, Mom, Dad, I need money. They're buying clothes.
Yep.
Coach.
Right.
They're buying clothes. So we'll see how Dante's dressed on Friday night. Coach Anderson, thanks for joining us. I know a tough road loss, but hey, this team's fun to watch, and we'll see them again Friday night, last game before Christmas break.
All right. Thanks, boys.
Thank you. Justin Anderson, Dowling boys basketball coach, joined us here on the postgame show. We'll talk to him on Friday night. Coach Cataldo, any final comments before we put this to bed?
Well, you can understand the frustration, and it's a game that you kind of exposes you a little bit as to who you need to be, and you can't be the same team every night. I mean, you know what your strengths are, and certainly you're going to play off that. But when a team like Johnston doesn't give you that, how are you going to create other shots? And just tonight they didn't find that one or two or three guys that hopefully you wanted to step up. But this is a great coach team. It's a great bunch of kids. I think they understand what they have is special. So they're going to have to continue to build, learn from games like this. Happening in December is a lot better than happening in February. So they're going to get back on the horse and play a tough team come Friday against Waukee.
Absolutely. Well, Jimmy, thank you very much. We'll see you Friday night, along with some of the alums, and you can have that young man that was in your house up till a few months ago. You can stop by. Dante's always welcome to our broadcast. Always. Unlike his dad, he's always welcome. And his mom, too.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not, have your car started and you're 1 foot out the door, knowing that it's
if we were on that side of the gym, I could do the remote start, but we got a little ice on the windshield, it sounds
just don't run me over as you run to your car because you're so concerned about getting – I mean, some of us have to drive, it feels like, 2 hours to get back to my house.
Yeah, it will be a long drive to the south side, and just be careful. It's not easy out there. Jimmy, thank you, and we'll talk to you Friday night.
Yep.
Jimmy Cataldo, my broadcast partner tonight, and that'll wrap up our broadcast from the Johnston Gym. And again, the final scores for both games. The Johnston girls defeat Dowling 49-41. Maroons' record now falls to 5-2 in girls play. Johnston undefeated at 6-0. And in the boys' contest, Johnston defeats Dowling by the score of 40-36. The Johnston boys improve their record to 5-1. Dowling falls to 4-1. And with that, we want to thank our supporters and sponsors and business underwriters of Iowa Catholic Radio in our 48th year of covering Dowling Catholic sports. Our thanks to our studio producer, Roman Wilkham, all the folks behind the scenes at Dowling, Colleen Webb, Jared Herring in the athletic office, including athletic director Tom Wilson. And here at Johnston, Randy Sparks, the Hall of Famer Dick Jess and Jeff Lawrence. We appreciate their help with us. And, of course, our athletic director, Heather Semmelmacher, and Melissa Cross, Tammy Nelson from the athletic office here at Johnston. Their head coaches, Chad Gillick and Courtney Henderson. And on the Dowling staff, Kristen Meyer and Justin Ironson. Our next broadcast will be this Friday night at the Dowling Gym as Maroons have their second home game of the first part of the year as Dowling will host Waukee in a girl-boy doubleheader. We'll be on the air at 6 o'clock with girls tipping off at 6:15, the boys to follow at 7:45 from the Dowling Gym in West Des Moines. For my broadcast partners, Mike Burkert and Jimmy Cataldo, I'm Mark Amadale. Thank you for listening to the official radio network of Dowling Catholic High School Sports and Activities, broadcasting on 1150 a.m. in Des Moines, 88.5 FM Adel, and 94.5 FM in Des Moines. Streaming online at iowacatholicradio.com. Final scores for the final time. In the girls' contest, Johnston 49, Dowling 41. And the boys' game, Johnston 40, Dowling 36. For Roman Wilkham, our studio producer, this is Mark Amadale. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And from all of us with the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, have a safe and blessed, faith-filled evening.
Coverage of Dowling Catholic sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Mercy One, Blessman International, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Fast Signs in Clive, Skeffington's Formal Wear, and Bozen the Florist. Please support the businesses that underwrite Iowa Catholic Radio. The preceding has been a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio.